Good morning. I wanted to share a video this morning. Well, I wanted to make one and then share it because I'm just feeling so excited. I've just had yet another speaker booking. I feel so grateful. And I really can't believe it at the minute because it's like, it's just every day it feels like there's like something's coming through. So it's like I've been inundated recently with speaker bookings now, and I love that. And I'd put this out to the universe probably about 3-4 years ago, and I was getting a few. I was getting the odd ones come through, but all of a sudden in the last, say, month or so, they have just been flooding in. And it's not like I'm seeking them, they've come to me. And I put it all down to this mostly. Well, this actually writing my book last year, but also the intensive mindset work I'm doing on myself and working with like the law of attraction. But I absolutely knew that I always wanted to write a book anyway when I was little. I didn't know it was going to be about my life. And to be fair, when I wrote this last year, I had no idea where I was going to go with it because I'd burnt out in my other business, my first business, which I've let go. And I'd had months off, like tuning into my true self, which was saying, write your book, write your book, write your book. And eventually the voice got so loud that I just had no choice but to do it. And I wanted to do it as well, don't get me wrong. But it became this all-consuming passion. Now, I also, like I said, doing a lot of the mindset work that I'm doing. At that point, I was still feeling quite exhausted, even though I'd had months of doing nothing, not really working. Like true burnout, it hits you hard. And there was part of me that was saying, right, Sam, you go for this, you go for this in a big way, like you did with your first business. And then the other part of me was like, hang on, calm down, you know, you're gonna burn out again if you're not careful. So I decided to take a very different approach to my business this time around. Very much about sharing from my heart, because once I'd written this, I just got over all of the fears that I had about sharing my true, authentic, vulnerable self. I tell you, my truths are in this book, and it's like, and whilst it was scary at first to share those, and I had to like work through my limiting beliefs around them, but it absolutely has been the best thing I've ever done for me. I mean, I love my son. I had my son. That was one of the best things in my life. But this is a very personal thing that I did for me, and the impact it's had with clients, with just readers, with people inviting me to opportunities, people inviting me to speak. It's just been phenomenal. I just like, every time it's like I'm not taking this for granted, because it's just magical. It's like, as you can see, it kind of like blows my mind every time. And I know I have been taken far more seriously as a person, as a business person, through having my book. It instantly gives you that authority. And even though it's becoming a lot more popular now, people writing their books, don't ever underestimate it, because it has literally just like transformed my business. And also, I think the other thing would be is that I think the more vulnerable you're able to be, the more you can share and bare your soul, the better the outcome. Because the universe works in these ways, because as soon as you make a decision, a really firm, clear decision, right, I am going to write this book, the universe responds. And as long as you keep feeling good about that, it just makes it so much easier for you, and it brings everything and all the opportunities to you. Yet you have to take some action to promote yourself, promote your book. But I tell you, once you've written your book, you're not going to be holding back anymore. It just gets rid of all those fears. And it's like, once upon a time, I never even, well, before my business, so rewind 6 years, I never even used social media. I was a very, very private person. I am an introvert by nature. People find that hard to believe, but I really am. But it's been so liberating because it's not only helping your clients and the people out there who need to read your story, but it helps you enormously as well for a personal growth. I tell you, it's literally life changing. So I wanted to share this and put this in the group, because if you have got that desire, but you've got all these beliefs, these things, they can be worked through. You can get beyond that. I put a post on the other day and it was like, actually, if I listen to my ego, which is your negative, critical, inner voice, which we all have, if I listen to that for long enough, I wouldn't even leave the house in the morning. Never mind write my book and bare my soul. So just have that to think about, because there's always a solution. Because if you really want to do something, my question to you is, are you going to let your critical voice get in your way and stop you? Because who are you to hold your story back from the people who need to hear it? Because it was a guy called Dave Pelzer that actually inspired me to write my book. So I read his book probably about, well, books, he's written quite a few now, about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. And that just blew my mind, because I thought to myself, that man, what he went through in his life was just, well, it was just unbearable what he went through, the abuse he went through and all the things that stemmed from that. But my God, that man got through it. That man got through it. And not only did that man get through it, he was brave enough to share his stories. He's like written all these books, he speaks all around the world, and that is coming from his most vulnerable place. And when I read his books, and I thought, my God, that blew my mind, and I just thought, if he can do that, then I for sure as hell can do it. And you know, and it's having finding something like that, maybe a role model that you can aspire to, that will help give you the courage to move forward. But if you want to work with me to help you get your book out there, I absolutely will. If you can commit to me